Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Hello, and welcome. Welcome back, I say to myself. Last I spoke to you was last Thursday. Had a great long weekend in Wisconsin with family. And happy to be back here in beautiful Pittsburgh. It is August 14th. And it is Tuesday, and my sister Susan is joining us from Green Bay. You know,
I'm still here.
Yeah, you know what they say about what? What is it?
Fish.
Yes, fish.
And company.
Uh-huh. They stink after how many days would that be, Susan? 3? Okay. Just saying.
I know.
So, I don't know. The usual hangers-on are all there, all those fish, huh?
Well, no, it's just down to me and my hubby and our brother.
Okay. All right. The usual fish.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm more of a helpful fish than some of the others.
Right. This is true. Yeah.
Right.
You are not one of the stinky fish. However, everybody's doing okay. We were all there celebrating my mom's 90th birthday, which was actually on Saturday. And she went to she had a long-standing doctor's appointment yesterday, just for a general checkup. And the word is that she is in absolutely perfect health.
Every single test came back
positive. Perfect. So she's
on no medication.
No medication at all. 90. What's that about? I take 10 pills a day.
What it's about is that she's in better shape than any of her 3 children.
Well, I know, and I told her yay. She's going to bury us.
Yeah.
God. There's absolute... And the day after this huge party we had for her on a Saturday night, she, with all this family that had come from hither and yon, she goes off to play 18 holes of golf.
Right. She was gone all afternoon playing.
Oh, God.
And then we all went out to dinner again, so, you know.
Oh, man, we ate up a storm. So that was fun. But, you know, I was thinking on the way in, because this was extended family. So these are cousins and first cousins once removed or second cousins or this and that, and who knows, some of whom we hadn't seen in some time. And I was thinking, because we had a few little flashpoints over the weekend, and they were always about politics. And I was thinking that if you were to have staged a straw poll at, let's say, the party, that was the largest group of people that were there, a poll at that party, Romney, Obama, stop and think. It's not a sure answer, but who would have won that poll?
Well, I think that there were enough non-related liberals there.
Well, I know there were some, like, first of all, but you don't know. You don't know. There were some of Mom's friends are definite liberals, so we got them. But family skewed Republican. Did it not?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Skewed would be the right word.
Yeah.
No, I mean, sitting at my table where I had decided that I was sick of seeing family units come all this way just to sit
by themselves. I know.
By
I
themselves.
Can't stand
so
that.
Eric and I went to sit with the Chicago contingent.
Yeah, and that's Republicans.
Right. And they start right in about,
Oh, did they? So you're
yeah,
talking
and I
politics.
just said, we are not having this conversation. I'm Obama, and proudly so, and you're not, so we cancel each other's votes. Let's just be quiet.
Well,
then one of the younger generation of that family said, well, it doesn't matter because we're from Chicago and our votes are canceled anyway. And on that happy note, we avoided it, but we avoided it because I said, don't you dare.
Yeah.
We are not having this conversation. We are having a good time, and everybody went right on.
It's really something. So, I mean, even though I can rail about, these people who vote for the Republicans, I love some of them.
Well, exactly. It's like my husband's family. I just don't talk about this stuff because I love them and I want to be able to have a good relationship with them. So just do not talk about it.
No, you can't talk about it because apparently there was one. I was surprised to hear that one first cousins are not on good terms. I thought they were very close, not on good terms, and the reason is politics. One is very liberal and the other is very conservative, and they really barely talk. That is, what do you mean, who's this? It's who your husband was sitting next to the last dinner and across from.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. In which a fight broke out between your husband and someone, and it was startling.
Right. Because my husband usually knows better.
Well, but he's very tactful in that, and then I don't understand, and I absolutely will not talk. I inadvertently caused a little bit of a stir when I mentioned to some of the Chicago people that you cannot say the name. They didn't know this yet. I was warning them. That's all I'm saying. Don't say Ryan around Mom, because she has only one thing that she says when you say the name Paul Ryan, and that is... I'm leaving.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? There's only one thing she says when you say Paul Ryan. She must have said it 20 times. I told her if you say that one more time, I'm going to scream.
Well, I didn't hear it. What did she say?
He looks like Dracula.
Oh. I think the only nice thing you can say about him is that he's really quite handsome and has an incredible body.
Well, that's interesting because I saw a political analyst here, John Delano, tweeting all over the place last night, asking people, is Paul Ryan good looking? Is he considered good looking? Because apparently some people think he's like you just said, he was very handsome, and some people think looks like Dracula. Mom would not think that. I think he's pretty good looking. I don't think he's a slam dunk good looking, but he's in very, very good shape,
right.
Apparently. And apparently a nice person.
Right. Oh, I think he's a very nice person. And I honestly,
right.
Knowing absolutely nothing about this, but just, in this case, dear sister, really bullshitting, I think that his politics are really a reaction, formed by his father's early death. And his feeling that you're on your own. You better learn how to take care of yourself.
Oh, you've done more reading than I. I didn't know his father died. I don't know what you're talking about.
His father, he's from a long line of early dying men.
Oh, and that's why he stays in shape.
Yes. They all died early of heart attacks.
Yeah.
But I think it also formed his attitudes about life.
That you can't.
He made it. That's what he had to do.
Yeah.
It was good for him.
Mm-hmm. We all have a tendency to do that. We extrapolate from our own experience and then sort of lay it over everybody else, when I think that's not a right way to look at life.
No, it's not. But I do think it would not be unreasonable to think that that's how he comes by and holds on so strongly to these extremely, bootstrap and I've got mine and this shouldn't be, you've got to learn how to take care of yourself attitude.
I remember the first time I had that thought that, hey, just because you did something in a certain way and it worked doesn't mean one size fits all.
It's the only way to get to the end of the road.
And the first time I had that reaction was, it's also a political thing, was, I can't name the year because I never remember the years, Marilyn Quayle, whatever year that was.
I was in law school, so it was probably somewhere between, it was 75.
Okay,
because the election would be 76.
Okay, Dan Quayle's wife, it would be H.W.'s run, a successful run for the White House. And at a convention speech, she gave a convention speech, I believe, and she said something about, she was up there with her perfectly lacquered hair, looking like,
Republican hair.
Yeah, Republican hair, only usually it's blonde, and this was not. She's brunette. And she was talking about her life and how she went to law school. But when she married and had children, she stopped her career and raised this and that and I did this and I did that, as if she was saying, as if this is the way a good person does it. And I remember thinking, hey, there's all kinds of ways to live a life. To be a good mother. And what she didn't get is that a good mother is a mother who doesn't feel trapped,
who is happy doing what she's doing. In her case, that's what made her happy. But if she were miserable, her kids would have been better off with her having a job.
Right.
And being happy in the time that she was with them.
Whatever. I was thinking, look, I did everything backwards. I, had a successful career, then became a mother. You went to law school. You started a career. Then you become a mother. Then you do this and that. You do. Everybody does different stuff in a different order. I didn't graduate from college when I was supposed to. I didn't leave high school and immediately, do 4 years of college, and then I did not. Wasn't for me. I wasn't ready. But we constantly stick everybody in these boxes. You are 18. You must now go to college, whether you are ready to or not.
One of the smartest things I ever said was when I was newly pregnant, and I looked at my husband and I said, the only rule we got from here on out is there aren't any rules. I've never been down this path before. We're just going to have to see. You can't make these rules for yourself. You don't know how you're going to react to these things. And if the women's movement was about anything, it was about having the choice to decide what was right for you, whatever that choice is.
Oh, what a good segue into the passing of Helen Gurley Brown.
Right.
I was never a big fan of Ms. Brown's. However, I will acknowledge her impact on culture and on women's lives, I guess. Because I guess her book, Sex and the Single Girl, predated Betty Friedan's Feminist Manifesto and said something so outrageous, which was, hey, guess what? There's all these good-looking, smart, single women out here, and they're having sex, and they're loving it.
And they should.
It was 1962.
Right.
No, that was shocking. What do you mean, and they should?
Well, her argument was that, that's this is the new reality. This is how you should be living your life. Be out there.
Not how you should be, but how you can be.
How you can be.
Right. And what I always really didn't like about her is that, and yes, I guess if you broaden the term feminist, she's a feminist. But her feminism had to do almost totally with sex.
Right. And using it to get where you needed to be.
And using it to get a man. And
shamelessly.
And being sort of fixated on yourself as this sexual being, which is, again, to me, what saddles young women, this constant fear that, their bodies aren't right, their hair's not right. I mean, if those magazines like Cosmo do anything, it's peddle insecurity, if you ask me. Quite the opposite of what she thought she was doing.
Right.
Do you know what? I don't know how it shakes out. That some women reading it get empowered, other women reading it say, geez, I don't look like that, I don't feel like that, I don't have the energy to do this. I don't want to. I don't know.
Did you ever read that magazine? I just never,
No, it
those
always
magazines with the stories on the cover, 20 ways to please your man. Or,
yeah.
I just go, ugh, why would I just? Ugh.
What's wrong, Susan? Don't you want to please your man?
I just never wanted Cosmo to tell me how.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't.
What I want to know is how can these magazines still, if you were to go to a newsstand right now and look at the covers of some of these magazines, they're still at it.
Of course they are.
Well, are they the same 20 ways? No. They've come up with ways you can't even imagine anymore. And now they actually have ones where they tell men how to please women. Isn't that interesting? Whatever. So Helen Gurley Brown fought the good fight, had a hell of a career, and had a long-lasting, very good marriage, although she says that she was essentially a geisha. He was her lord and master, and that's how it worked. I don't call that a feminist. I'm sorry. I don't know. But then maybe I'm not being embracing enough. I mean, whatever you call that, yeah.
Right. She's got a right to live her life
like
the way she wants, and if that's the kind of relationship in which she felt comfortable and he felt comfortable, then butt out. It's none of our business.
That's
it wouldn't
right.
be my choice.
That's right. Okay.
I like to be lord and master some of the time.
Some of the time? Jeez. Okay.
That's not fair.
Oh, you know what? I didn't know. But
what?
You're a take charge person. So, did I tell you that? So, I went. I was at O Hare Airport yesterday, and
working your way back. Was your timing good?
Nah, I ended up with too much time.
Sorry.
Well, but you don't know. How do you know if you're going to run into... It used to be you could get from Pittsburgh to Green Bay, Wisconsin relatively quickly and at not a huge expense. Now you simply can't get there from here. It is a day's trip. And I was thinking, okay, well, if I was living, in the time of covered wagons, I would really be impressed that I got from Green Bay to Pittsburgh as quick as I did. So that made me feel better. But it shouldn't have. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
I do.
Okay. So
your brother is talking to me at the same moment.
Well, I could tell. You think I can't tell when you're distracted?
I know you can tell. Well, I can't help it.
Well, tell him you're doing a show and to shut up.
I'm doing a show. Shut up.
Tell him to get on the line.
I did. Bill, get on the line. Pick up the phone. We don't have to ask him twice.
Is he on?
He's going to look for a phone that won't crackle.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So.
Hello?
Yes, Bill. I was just, if this is, look, Susan's...
No, I can't hear a thing.
See, it's our phones here won't allow us to do this, I don't think, unless you can tell me which phone to get on.
Go upstairs.
Okay. Hang on, listening public.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay, so...
Yes, seize control.
We get into O Hare after schlepping in this rental car out to from Green Bay to Chicago. And then, God, I hate rental cars. Then, anyway, we get into the actual airport.
This better?
Yeah.
Okay. So we get into the airport.
Oops, I just dropped the phone.
Bill.
So what is the topic of conversation?
Well, I was telling a story. The story
But I
was...
can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
Then you got to get off.
Okay.
Bye.
But I just want, listening public, I just want you to know that my sister, Lynn, held forth at my mother's 90th birthday fete, and held forth. And she felt that her body clock indicated she had an hour to fill, is what she thought. But of course, it was filled with like 80 and 90 and old people who not only couldn't hear her wit, but were passing out.
Bill?
So...
Was this...
What is the demographic of your podcast listening audience?
Well, I think they're younger than that, but I disagree that I went too long.
Well, I know you did, but your niece, Leah, Susan's daughter, had to snatch the microphone from you. She literally went over and snatched it from you.
No, I was done. That was the end.
Okay.
Okay,
bye, folks.
Bye.
I see family. You know what? That is so obnoxious.
Yes, it is. It is obnoxious.
Here's what I think, Susan.
He's jealous.
Thank you.
And that, listening audience, is a little snapshot of siblings.
Yeah, right. So we get into O Hare. Suze, we get into... He really was. He was. I saw him laughing at first, then I saw him sort of crunching further and further into his seat. Like, I don't know. What the... All right, he's
standing in front of me, grinning from ear to ear.
You tell him that the next family event, I completely defer to him. I ain't giving
Bill,
any
at the
speech.
next family event, she completely defers to you. Oh, no, he wants you to do it.
No.
Okay, go on. Finish your story about O Hare already.
We get into O Hare, and I'm looking left, I'm looking right. Where do I go? And I see there's like this commotion around me, and I look, and there's a guy with a big camera, and he's walking backwards, about to plow into me. He doesn't see me because he's walking backwards. And because he's shooting a group that's right in front of him, but walking toward him. And I jump out of the way, and there passes in front of me the women's gymnastics team.
Cool.
Yeah, there they all were. I could reach out and touch them.
Right.
So,
they all came up to your belly button.
They were taller than I thought.
Really?
Yeah, I expected them to look like little munchkins. They didn't. They looked, they looked like shorter women, but no, they didn't look tiny. They didn't. I was surprised at that. Anyway, I fell in behind him because it turns out that's where I was supposed to go too, and we all ended up in the same security line. They, of course, were let in past the rest of us. But so I watched them all go through security. And then when we came out of security, there was a huge group that had formed around them again as they went to a place called, I don't know, King Smoothie. Or Smoothie King.
Yeah, Smoothie King.
Smoothie King. And they were lined up there getting smoothies. And they had their backs to us because they were at the counter getting smoothies. But this huge crowd is formed in this circle around them. And finally, people are saying, turn around, turn around. And so they turn around, and everybody's taking their picture and oohing and eyeing. And my son says, I can't believe this. This is the most... He like has a fit. about how disgusting everybody's being, how stupid. And I said, oh, as I'm wildly trying to get my cell phone out so I can take a picture. I'm saying, oh, I'm so sorry that you're so cool, too cool for the room. I said, why don't you just go to the gate? I'll stay here with all the gawkers. And he stormed off.
I think it's all becoming clear, though, the way Bill talks to you, the way you talk to Sam.
Whoops. Anyway, so I was so rattled that I didn't put it on camera. I put it on video.
Movie.
Yeah, and it looks stupid. And then, anyway, I just gave him a big thumbs up. I said, way to go! The only one not there was Gabby. She's off in a private jet somewhere.
Well, or she's doing an appearance, or she had a nonstop to the West Coast.
Wherever. So, anyway, that was exciting, and it was fun to see all the people just so excited and understanding who they were, and little girls gaping at them. And it made me think that this Olympics, it is true, seemed to be reminiscent to me of the Olympics of my youth, in that there was this sort of wonderment that I think's been missing, or just a lack of cynicism, or maybe it's
I felt exactly the opposite. I mean, I was happy for our athletes and everything, and thought they did a wonderful job. But I do think that I feel like I didn't get to see any of the Olympics. I mean, I felt that it was so closely decided what I got to see and what I didn't, and that you missed the whole sense that it was the world competing, and that it was the world competing in a variety of different ways.
Well, then you were just stuck watching NBC. You had to be looking at all of their outlets, because you could watch absurd things, and you could watch full games between other countries, and you could. If you were just watching prime time NBC, right, it was just about us. But if you were watching CNBC, MSNBC, I forget the other, Bravo, I don't know, everything that NBC owns, apparently, everything that General Electric owns. They had just constant coverage.
No, it's Comcast now that owns them.
Okay. Well, then they had just tons of possibilities.
Right. Well, you're right. I didn't work hard enough at watching it all. But
okay.
But
I for some reason like this one, and I didn't see as much as I wanted to, just because I just didn't have the time or energy or whatever. But I really liked it, and the fact is, hey, we Americans did really good. Hasn't it been a long time since we've come out on top?
Yeah, we really did do good, and I even liked that Gabby just won the all around, and then fell apart. That was it.
Yeah, I also liked that. I forgot what I also liked. Sorry. That it was the women. It was the American women who blew everybody out of the water and off the track, and I guess somebody said if you totaled up the number of medals American women won, they would come in. Was it fifth?
Right.
In terms of countries,
nations.
Yeah.
Right.
That's taking the men out of the picture.
Well, and with the men, you just take Phelps. And he's like a small country, too.
But, I heard somebody explain why you can't say Michael Phelps is the greatest Olympian of all time. You know why? Because swimming has so many possibilities to win medals. So, like, it's as if Usain Bolt could run the 100, the 150, the 200, the 250.
16 relays.
Right. And then, he would have all those medals. It's just the nature of the way swimming competition works, that it's the swimmer. And I think gymnastics would be the next one that's going to be able to tally up all the medals. That's my guess. And I think that's absolutely correct.
Well, it's neat. It's just what's interesting is seeing how these basically, teenagers, for the most part, can so discipline their minds that they can allow their bodies to do what their bodies have been trained to do. It's such a head thing, and it's so impressive that they can.
No, it just blows you away what the body can do.
That they can be that composed. When I'm in my 6th decade and having a hard time.
Well, sure. No, of course. I mean, they're amazing. The other thing I couldn't help but note is that when I was watching all these young girls, going through security, there were some bigger women that were with them too, with the United States of America jackets on and the whole. They were clearly athletes as well, and I didn't have a clue who they were, and so. You realize that there are sports that we laud and you get to be really a recognized person. And then these other women I was looking at who were clearly athletes as well, the best of the best. And I didn't have a clue who they were.
Yeah, they pick, but that is television, what they choose to spotlight. So, and if it's a team sport, it's harder and harder to recognize individuals. Unless they're all together as a team. I mean, like the soccer team and stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm being told that Gabby was on... Why can't I get this on here? Gabby was on Jay Leno's show with Michelle Obama or something last night. So that's why I didn't see her. Yeah, she had bigger fish to fry than to be standing at the King's Smoothie being ogled by Midwesterners. This is true.
Well, I was just reading this morning, and not that I ever intend to watch it because I think this thing is horrifying. This new reality show where stars try not to get killed for money.
The stars on the strike.
Will you
know
please
what I'm talking about?
I vaguely do, but please tell me that General Wesley Clark is not part of it.
I don't think so.
But
I don't know.
I think I'm seeing his name associated with something with Nick Lachey. Is he part of it?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
And how could Wesley Clark be party to this?
Perhaps his Army pension isn't sufficient.
He's not getting... Jess is saying, yeah, Wesley Clark.
Yeah.
Well... I'm bringing this up only to say that in the article that I read today, they were discussing how the military guy that trained a lot of them was saying that the women just blow the men away.
So these
that they're better shots, that they take, that they learn better, that they concentrate.
Wow. Now, let me see. See, for some reason, I'm not getting mail on my one account. Tell Mom that Lynn has emailed in and says she agrees with Mom that Paul Ryan looks like a vampire.
Well, he does. It's that widow's
Well, it's
peak.
that widow's peak. And then Richard and Braddock wants to know if there are any Chick-fil-A restaurants in Green Bay. I don't
know,
saw
but I'll
one.
find out.
And, yeah. And what else? And Gabby Douglas. Wait, I got something here. Gabby was on Jay Leno last night along with Michelle Obama, so that's why she was missing at the airport. All 5 of them are going to be on Letterman tonight. Okay. So is Letterman out in New York? Yeah. So they must have been on their way to New York. Well, why were they in Chicago then?
I don't know. Well, no, Leno's in California.
Yeah, but Letterman.
Oh, Letterman's in New York.
They said they're going to be on Letterman tonight. So why did I see all of them in Chicago from London? Why would you go to Chicago and then back to New York?
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it don't. Well, go figure. I have video proof. I wasn't making that up. I saw every one of them.
The answer to the Chick-fil-A question is of whether there's one in Green Bay. The answer is no.
Right. It's too far north. I think it's too far north. I think it's a southern chain mostly, and that's it. Meanwhile, Wisconsin.
Racine is the closest one.
Okay. Racine, sort of Matt, I keep forgetting his first name, Ryan territory.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, listen, I got to take a break, I think, and we'll be back.
Okay.
In a sec.
More is on the way with Lynn Cullen Live.
O Hare and Skin Center has been providing professional, affordable services for over 10 years. Now they're proud to exclusively offer RegenLite acne treatment. RegenLite is an FDA-approved, non-invasive drug, chemical, and pain-free treatment of all grades of acne. With RegenLite, you will experience a 50% improvement in less than 2 weeks, with lasting improvement for up to 12 weeks. Call the Laser Hair and Skin Center today at 412-373-1700 and receive $100 off your first session. Or go to mylaserhair.com for more information and to see their full line of services. The Laser Hair and Skin Center.
Go to bergbargains.com for great deals on admission to the Science Center, History Museum, Carnegie Museums, area golf courses, and some of the best restaurants in Pittsburgh. bergbargains.com. Local deals, local merchants. bergbargains.com.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Hi, and welcome back. And hey, Suze, I just got a quick little note. Mom's not going to want to hear this, but I forwarded to her this sweet happy birthday note from
Heidi. She got it, yeah.
Yeah, and she has quickly responded to it, but the response came back to me because I had... You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I am. Well, can you forward it for her?
Well, yes, I guess I could.
Mom, you sent your response to Heidi to Ninu instead
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, will do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay, Merriam-Webster has put some new words into the dictionary.
F-bomb.
F-bomb. Sexting. Flexitarian.
Yeah, what's flexitarian? I saw that one. What's that?
Somebody who's agile? What the hell is it?
I don't know.
Does anyone know what a flexitarian is?
It's got to be someone that's
flexible.
Flexible. I don't get it.
Do they mean physically flexible or somebody who is employable because
it's a diet?
It's a diet. A semi-vegetarian diet.
Well, then it should be flaxitarian.
Flaxitarian, Susan says. Flexitarian. That's
no
bull.
Vegetarian food. Wondering what the word semi-vegetarian.
Well, how did? Okay.
Oh, it's flexible. It's semi-vegetarian.
Yeah, that's right. It's
well, you know what that means? It's not vegetarian.
And it also means it's not any. I mean, it's stupid. I don't agree with that word getting in.
It's either vegetarian or it's not.
Okay. Also in is obesogenic. Does that mean beautiful fat people?
No, obesogenic would seem to me to be something that lends itself to creating obesity.
Oh, I'm thinking of like photogenic.
No, I would think obesogenic means that it tends to cause obesity. Like allowing snack foods in schools is obesogenic. That's my guess.
Let me tell you what else is obesogenic. Life! Okay. Here's another word that made it.
Yeah, okay, here it is. It has been shown that girls from families in which mothers and fathers have high dietary intake and low physical activity, i.e. obesogenic families. So that's what I'm saying. It's something that lends itself towards obesity. So
it's an environmental factor.
Right.
Well, like living in America. I
right.
mean,
living in America is obesogenic.
Yes. Obviously, because those new numbers that are out, I mean, God.
Use it in a sentence, right. That would be it. But that one I thought was fairly clear. Okay.
Okay. So flexitarian was not as stupid. And the other ones I have here are energy drink and life coach.
I object to flexogenic because to me, to say that you are a semi-vegetarian is to say you're not a vegetarian.
Right. I mean, you could say you're semi-anything.
I'm semi-kosher.
Yeah.
But I rarely keep it.
That's right. It's bull. It doesn't make any sense at all. Bad word. Bad word.
Right.
Okay, so life coach. That just annoys me, that whole concept.
That just annoys me, too. A life coach is someone who is so unsuccessful at making money that they become a life coach.
You said it, I didn't. And I suppose there's lots of life coaches in our listening audience who you'll be hearing from.
Well, you know, I don't know a whole lot of life coaches, but, you know, I'm just willing to put it out there. That you want bullshit,
I feel the
that's
same way.
bullshit.
Yeah. Well, you'd be a good one.
I'd be a great one. I'm perfectly happy to tell you what to do.
That's
but
right,
that has nothing to do with my authority to do.
Yeah, all you have to do is you come on as an authority and people will hire you. Stop and
right.
think about it.
Yes, I hereby dub myself a consultant on life.
There you go.
I would be good at it. I just do it for free.
No, but you shouldn't. See, you could get paid. I wonder what life coaches make. A lot of money, Jess says. And what? So people just go to them and say, so now what do I do?
Right.
I mean, what? What is it? It's like having a psychologist who actually talks back to you.
Right. It's like going to the psychologist, but the life coach just tells you what to do.
Right, and you don't have to spill your guts.
Right.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Of course it is.
Okay. It used to be that you would go to church for your life coaching. Isn't that true? Susan?
I guess.
Well, sure. That's what anything you need to know about going through life could be learned.
Turn to the good book. Right.
That's right. That's right. Is there something we're supposed to be talking about in the news?
I don't think so.
I don't either. And Paul, I keep calling him Matt Ryan. Paul Ryan.
Ew.
How many times have I done it?
No, I've been calling him that.
You've been calling him Matt Ryan?
Yeah.
Well, who's Matt Ryan?
I don't know. But that's what I keep calling him.
That's weird. Jess is calling him Matt. I'm calling him Matt. And we don't even know a Matt Ryan that we're mixing him up with.
You know that 64% of the polling of the polled Americans, when asked who was Paul Ryan, thought he was the guy they were trying to save in Saving Private Ryan.
There you go. Well, that's a good guess. Good guess. Good guess. Oh, or he was one of our Olympic medalists.
Right. Could have been that too.
Oh.
He lives in a very nice house, though. Did you see Paul's house in Janesville?
No, I did not.
He lives in one of the homes of one of the big executives that was built for one of the big executives of one of the big manufacturers that has fled Janesville.
Right. There's now a totally depressed community, but he lives in one of the robber barons' old houses. Right. Listen, and he never had a job in his life, right? I mean, private sector. He didn't.
Probably not.
No, he's worked in government all his life, so how did he get so rich?
He married a successful Democratic attorney.
She's a Democrat?
She's from a long line. She's from a political Democrat family.
You said Democrat family, Susan.
Democratic family.
Well, I wonder how she... The only thing I've seen about her is that she doesn't want to have anything to do with any of this.
Right.
She doesn't want to give a speech. She doesn't want to be she doesn't want to be part of it. And she has to be. She's got to be at the Republican convention. I hope her parents are dead, or else they're going to be like rolling over in their grave. In their graves, because there's her daughter up there with the Republicans.
Well, she fell in love with him.
Well, apparently he's a nice guy, great guy.
He's a nice guy,
wonderful human being. If a little little screwed up by the early passing of his father, according to Susan.
Well, that's just me making stuff up.
That's not bad.
I don't think it's bad. I mean, other talking heads make stuff up. They opine. I'm opining.
Right. Opining is perfectly fine, and especially on this program, heaven knows, because that's all we're ever up to.
That's what we're supposed to do, right.
Right. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I do want to get one more break out of the way. I took the last one a little late. So let me take it out, and then we've got some very funny stuff coming up. far be it from me to say very funny. Interesting is what I mean. And this is science stuff, which we often do on Tuesdays, and I'm just blown away by today's information. Well, we'll be back with you after this.
Stick around for more with Lynn Cullen Live after this.
Pittsburgh City Paper is now available on your smartphone. Go to citypapermobile.com to read this week's digital issue or search for restaurants, bars, concerts, events, and movies on any portable device. Plus blogs, Lynn Cullen, City Guide, CPTV, and Best of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh City Paper available at over 1,700 locations throughout western Pennsylvania and on the web at pghcitypaper.com and on your smartphone at citypapermobile.com.
Ooh, goody, goody, goody. The art festival on Walnut Street is coming up, and I'm here just to give you a heads up. That will be August 25th and 26th. You can bet that's in 2 weeks, essentially, right? It'd be, the 25th and the 26th, or is that this next coming up weekend? Don't tell me it's the coming up weekend. It's in 2 weeks. Yeah, geez. Because then it'll be September, for God's sake. Oh, my God. August 25th and 26th, the 15th Annual Shadyside Arts Festival. And, you know, that takes Walnut Street and just transforms it into a fantastic outdoor art gallery with all kinds of incredible art available for your purchase. And also always lots of food, lots of fun, lots of bodies, lots of dogs, lots of kids. You don't pay a thing. You just walk in and wander around. Saturday hours, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The 15th Annual Shadyside Art Festival on Walnut. Make a note.
Get Lynn Cullen Live on your smartphone. Go to citypapermobile.com now for Pittsburgh City Paper's brand new mobile app. Get the latest restaurant reviews, event listings, movie times, and of course, Lynn Cullen Live on your smartphone. citypapermobile.com.
Now, it's back to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com.
Oh, okay, we are back. All right, so I'm checking out some of the more fascinating little tidbits that I've come upon in the last day or two. Oh, wait, PJ's telling us that polls of Americans... Oh, the fact that most people think he's in the movie Saving Private Ryan, or he was the one. He's saying, what are you saying? Americans are dumb? And then he says... No,
I think I'm just saying their critical thinking is a little lacking.
Right, and then he says, because he knows you would laugh, he says, just kidding, yeah. And here's one for you. Ryan looks like a Rankin Bass character.
A who?
Rankin, Rankin, Bass, Bass. He says you can begin speculating on what that means. Hint, think stop motion animation. Doesn't help me at all.
Oh, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Like that kind of animation.
He looks like that kind of animation?
I don't think he does.
Okay. I don't have a clue. I don't know. In the eye of the beholder. And some of you beholders are just plain weird. That's all I can say. Gigi writes, I agree with Susan. About what?
Doesn't matter. I agree with you, too.
Sorry. I told my husband, she said, that Paul Ryan has issues. Oh, because of finding his father dead. Oh, he found him dead when he was 16. Ryan claims that as a result of his father dying, he began reading conservative writers. He went to the dark side because of his father's death, such as Ayn Rand, and that is when he fell in love with her ideas on government and economics. The New Yorker had a really good profile on Ryan not too long ago, and you should look that up because that sort of explains all this. I do think I remember reading it ages ago. It was really good. And I've seen other people say it's quite understandable for somebody 16, 17, 18 to read Ayn Rand and fall.
That's when you read it. That's when I read it.
And you totally think this is it, that is right. And then
you grow up.
You grow up. And he can't let go of that.
Mm-mm. I mean, that's the phase appropriate. If time. Everybody reads Fountainhead when they're 16.
Somehow
and it's a damn good story.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not. It's not an appropriate political and life philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he just didn't grow out of it.
He loves her. Well, okay. And I mean, he's a true believer. But so what does he say? I mean, so many Republicans do like say, oh, Ayn Rand. And these are the same guys that are like, all about religious values. She's a total atheist. She absolutely ridiculed religion.
She's sort of rugged individualism,
Well, I know she's rugged individualism.
All the way over to fascism.
No, and she's also what she is one nasty human
being.
She was not a good person. She was traumatized by growing up in the throes of the, like Russian Revolution and commies coming in and her life being upended. One of the reasons she's so detested, I mean, it caused her family to run for their lives. So anything left, anything socialistic made her crazy. She went way, way, way to the other side. So what's weird is these people who have traumatized childhoods end up, taking that trauma and then further traumatizing the rest of us. Do you know
That's what people do with trauma. Pass it on.
Thanks a lot. You can't live with your trauma in a little quieter manner? Hey. Okay, so listen to this. This is brilliant. You're a sheep. You're standing out on a meadow. There is a shepherd around, but who knows where, because there's a lot of territory you and your other sheep cover. What is your greatest fear?
Mine?
Yeah, you're a sheep. You're in the meadow.
What is my greatest fear?
Yeah.
Well, some sort of predator.
That's correct. Good empathy, Susan. Putting yourself in a sheep's situation. You're worried about a wolf. Well, listen to this. They have figured out a scientific way for a sheep who is about to be attacked by a wolf to alert the shepherd who may be someplace else. How do they do that? Well, it has been ascertained that a sheep's heart rate, and who can doubt it, jumps by 3-fold when it thinks it's about to be eaten by a wolf.
So they have little cardiac alarms on all the sheep?
So they have, right? So they have...
Like being in the ICU. Ding, 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 ding.
That's right. They have a network-enabled collar that all the sheep would wear. And as soon as a sheep's heart rate jumps by 3, alarms go off. The shepherd knows there's a wolf in his flock and can go running. They're also testing the collars because the shepherd might not get there in time, right? So collars that emit the, they alert the shepherd, but also then might emit a loud noise or a repellent of some sort that'll scare the wolf immediately away. Also, probably the sheep would drop dead of fear, too.
See, I didn't expect you to go to the sheep story. I expected you to go...
You know where I'm going. I'm going there next. I'm saving the best for last. All right. So this has all been figured out at the Swiss Carnivore Research Center. And they think that these smart collars can also be used to allow cows to send text messages. I give up.
Can't you just see, cows having Twitter accounts, heading out to the far pasture?
When I was driving to Chicago yesterday, of course, in Wisconsin, you drive by lots of cows. And I was looking at these, these Holsteins walking out into the pasture, and I was thinking, think of a cow's life. I was just trying to imagine a cow. I mean, what a life. And I mean, what an uninteresting existence. But I guess if you're a cow, you don't feel that way about it.
Yeah, what would you be doing anyway?
I don't know.
I mean, it's not like they'd be going to Vegas. They're just going to hang around.
They just hang in there, and one of them was sort of walking, and I was thinking, gee, that's like a really active cow, because usually they
one's
just
lying down, somebody else
is
chewing.
They stand in one place and sort of chew for a little while. You don't say, there's just not a lot of movement there. Anyway, although I'll tell you something, one of the scariest moments in my life is when I was chased by some cows.
Cows are fast.
They are fast. Who knew it? And I found out later from the farmer that I had made the mistake of going into the field where he had placed what he termed the freshening cows. Now, let me try to remember what that meant.
So it has something to do with
their
calving.
milk. No, it had to do with they hadn't yet maybe had their first calf. I don't know what. They were somehow maybe hormonally
They were prepubescent teenagers.
Whatever, but they were hormonally a little, they had PMS. I don't know.
Right.
These were pissed off cows. All I know is I went into the pasture because I used to live on the farm, in the farmhouse. I crossed the highway, went into the pasture. I was going up. I wanted to go up to this beautiful little spot that was way up on a hill. Man, those cows came at me. I have never run so fast. It's amazing how I was like Usain Bolt. Straight up that high, because when it came to the hill, they didn't want to do it. Once I got to the hill, I was I was safe. All right, freshening cows. And then he told me all I had to do is hit him in the nose with a 2x4. That's what he said. I said, oh, no.
You just have to happen to be carrying a 2x4.
Jesus. Okay, so this is just a heads up for a book you might want to read, Yawning, Laughing, Hiccuping, and Beyond. Is that where you wanted me to go, Suze?
Yep.
By Robert Provine. It's reviewed in the science section of the New York Times today, and there's all kinds of interesting little tidbits in here. One of which I found particularly fun because I don't know how many of you have had a colonoscopy. Raise your hand.
And how many of you want another reason why you don't want one?
Well, sometimes you see when they're doing one of those colonoscopies, they come upon this little polyp. It's a precursor potentially to cancer, and so they clip it out. And that's happened to me. That doesn't happen to you, right, Suze? You're sort of like Mom, right? Of course, it happens
Clean
to me.
as a whistle. That's me.
I'm not. I got all manner of horror in my intestines. So here's a true story. They were once doing this colonoscopy on a guy, and they did see a polyp, and they wanted to, they snipped it out, but then they had to, cauterize it? Or
they cauterize it so you don't bleed.
They cauterize it, right. So they're cauterizing this guy's, polyp in his intestine, and an electric spark from the cauterizer apparently ignited gas in the guy's bowels.
Well, they said it better. It caused the patient's bowels to detonate. Blasting out the colonoscope and ripping a 6-inch hole in the patient's large intestine.
It blew a 6-inch hole in this guy's intestine. So what does that mean? That means if you're going in for a colonoscopy, make sure you don't take a gas X first. I don't know.
Take some gas
X. Blow up.
Well, they do say that such explosions are rare. The World Journal of Gastroenterology cited 12 colonic explosions reported in the medical literature from 1952 through 2006.
Wow.
So your odds are pretty good that you're just going to have, you're just going to spend a day with a really awful prep and then nothing else. Because for all of you that are avoiding it, it turns out that, it's really no big deal.
What everybody says is
other than pooping for a day.
Yeah, the prep is is awful. But so, okay, here. Just a few other quick tidbits. You cannot complete a yawn with your eyes closed. Now, I've tried this since then, and you can almost do it if you're really... First of all, I don't think you can yawn with your eyes open.
Or no, you can't sneeze with your eyes open. Your eyes will always close when you sneeze.
Always close when you sneeze, but you cannot, at the end of a yawn, your eyes are usually closed. That's why, believe me, your eyes close too during yawns. And when
you open them on the exhale.
You open them when they're done. You can't help yourself. It says you can simply not complete a yawn with your eyes closed. And this pisses me off because I've been on antidepressants most of my life. And you know what it says here? Some antidepressants produce yawns that trigger orgasms.
What?
Yeah. Never happened to me. All right, guys. You might want to know this one. Say you're like having sex or about to, and the woman you're wanting to have sex with starts crying. Do not sniff her tears. Because, to put it nicely,
you'll look like a fading flower.
That's right. It like immediately takes your sexual drive away. The smell of a woman's tears. Isn't that weird? Oh, Jess wants to know, why would you have sex with a crying woman? Yeah. Well, maybe she's crying because she's happy. Maybe she's crying because it's been so long, or she's crying because she's so moved she can't see straight.
And maybe she's crying because she doesn't want to have sex with you.
And maybe she's crying. Well, but then I don't know. Maybe she's crying because you saw him. I don't know. And any woman who's been pregnant knows this. Fetuses hiccup early and often.
Ew.
Well, sure.
You can.
All you have to do is watch your belly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and we're almost done. And in fact, the show is done. But this I love. Says here that passing gas and speaking involve pretty much the same thing. The expulsion of gas and vibration to produce a sound. So, what can be said of speech can also be said of a fart. It's an expulsion of gas to produce a sound. Okay?
Right.
So they say this book actually goes into...
And that's why they call someone that talks too much a gas bag.
That's right. And so I got to tell you something. The book actually goes into the fact of then how come do you think we evolved to speak with one end of our digestive pathway and not the other? In other words, this guy's saying, why didn't we...
could have just as easily tooted out a tune and have it mean something.
Right. We could have spoken through farts as opposed to... Well, come on. I mean... Apparently...
well, I think it would have delayed language, seeing that you only become a really expert...
talker if you're full of gas.
Right, and as you age, you get much better at it.
That is true. The older you get, the gassier
the older you get, that's when you see all of those older people walking quickly forward as a stream of gas is coming out behind them. Haven't you ever followed somebody and they're just...
You mean like
audibly
Mom?
Farting away?
Like Mom?
Yes. And I hate to say it, I'm about to join her.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, I know. It's like putt, 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 putt. It's like a little motorboat.
Right.
And I know. And it happens because you lose. Your sphincter gets a little, so to speak. Okay. I think we're...
Bye.
Yeah.
Somebody's been trying to call for the last 45 minutes.
Well, the hell with them. Say hi to everybody for me. Have a nice day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Okay, Chris Potter tomorrow. Return from vacation. We'll have fun. We'll talk politics tomorrow. Toodaloo.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.